Alright, hello. So, in today's video, we're gonna pause the disruption series for a bit for another normal video and then continue it afterwards. But on this video, we're gonna praise for around 10 to 15 minutes my two favorite guilty pleasure weapons in the entire game. So, since my favorite primary is easily the Salta and my favorite melee is easily the Plague Kripoth, which one is my favorite secondary weapon? We have talked a lot about Lex Prime, I like it a lot. Kovanyukor, I like it a lot. Compressor, feels really nice. Twin Comax, amazing. Feel really nice to play. But the two guilty pleasure weapons that I've been looking to make completely OP for a very long time are the Sicarus Prime and the Staticor. So, let's start with the Staticor, because this one I just hope, if we, listen, mark my words, if we ever get an upgraded version of this weapon, either a tenet Staticor, a prisma Staticor, something like that, if we ever get that, this may as well become the most broken secondary weapon in the game. In its current state, it sucks, but I love it. Why do I love it, you may ask? Well, it has a 9.6 meter radius at base with a 90% damage falloff. This translates essentially to I have the biggest aerial or radial attack, my bad. I have the biggest radial attack range in the entire game. Both primary and secondary weapons, nothing beats this charge attack radial range. Now, as you see, we have Hornet Strike. The damage sucks. Like, it's really bad. And this is also a status weapon. If we check base stats of the Staticor, it has a crit chance of 14%. The crit multiplier is 2.2. We see 3.4 because of the Kavat. And 28% status chance. So you can imagine if we had better stats on this and it had like decent crits, decent status, maybe a tiny bit more damage. This would be an insane weapon. In its current state, it's fun, but it's not good on anyone except Garuda. But Garuda makes it really strong. So let's go and see that in action. The Garuda build itself, because I know a lot of people will ask for, is a small utilization of Zada's Whisper with her 4th ability and her passive. Her passive acts like Roar but on 100% effectiveness. And now that we have this, we can easily slot in whatever weapon we want to boost the damage for. Since we're using a pistol, we're gonna go with pistol amp. So whatever type of weapon you have, you're gonna go with the amp mode of that weapon. And this is because one simple reason: Garuda's forced bleed procs scale with the base damage of whatever weapon you want to use. So if, let's say, we want to use an explosive AoE weapon that is a primary, we need to use Rifle Amp because it will boost the bleed proc damage by 27%. Even though this is base damage, because Garuda is guaranteed bleed procs forever, it is a lot more damage. And I do mean it is a lot more damage. Garuda, one of my favorite Warframes in the game to play. Has quite a bit of stuff going on. So the Staticor on its own, you know, you can either tap it and shoot it really fast, like this, or you can hold it and create the big radial attack. As you see, even with just Zada's Whisper, no bleed procs, just because of Garuda, this radial attack deals quite a bit. It is pretty nice. The effect radius is what is saving it, really. But if we had 4th ability as well, this effect radius will also bleed proc and it becomes crazy. And if you want single target damage, the actual tapping deals the same exact damage as with holding with a weapon, which is why I find it very weird and underwhelming. Like, if I tap it, I don't get much explosion range, but the damage stays exactly the same. So holding it only increases your explosion range and nothing else. It is very weird, but I mean, it's so satisfying. I just wish it was a bit better because, you know, 90k damage is not great. 90k bleed proc damage is pretty good. However. So... yeah. This weapon outside of Garuda, not the greatest. Maybe if you like use it for a disruption mission with Wisp and you go for a target. You see that 86 bleed procs on top of the enemy? Look at this. 2 shots and the enemy has 30 bleed procs. This is why this weapon is OP with Garuda. There is a lot of multi-shots and I believe it's shooting multiple bullets at a time, every time you shoot it. And since the damage is the same, if you wanted to do a Garuda disruption mission, you could feasibly use this weapon. But in my opinion, using it this way for its AoE purposes is way, way better. One weird mechanic about the weapon too is if you hold the fire button and you run into the enemy, the weapon shoots automatically. It's the only real annoying thing that the weapon has. But I mean, it is very capable, very destructive. But yeah, as you can see, if this weapon has better stats, like, you see when I get Kavadba for orange crits, these numbers are really good, considering we can make these numbers bleed proc on top. Just extra crit chance would be enough to save this weapon. Right now we use it as this. It's whatever. Maybe at some point D will decide they either buff it or they release a better version of this gun. I'll be all for it. But yeah. We're gonna wait for the accolade here to show how it does against that. .45 bleed procs with 1 shot. Yeah. Overall, Staticor. This, you know, I saw a lot of people commenting on the secondary weapons video that Staticor was their favorite gun. And I was actually very, very happy to see that I'm not the only one who thinks this gun is insane. I swear. Just mark my words. When we get an upgraded version of this gun, because there is no way D doesn't do it if it has a following, this is gonna go crazy, this gun. So, 5 minutes are in, we have 560 kills, pretty good. If I do say so myself, this is pretty good stats. Can't keep it up, unfortunately, outside of this level. If we go to like level 200, it starts falling off, so I wouldn't really recommend this weapon to everyone, but if you like the aesthetics, you like how it plays out, you know, go ahead. Also, this weapon, fun fact, it's classified as a throwing knife. So decent damage, as you can see. If you tap it, since the damage doesn't go down, you have actual good single target DPS. But it's obviously worth it to go ahead and do the AoE thing. But you need to mod for a bit of fire rate in order to do that. Like, this build has quite a bit of fire rate on my riven mod, which I forgot to show. My bad. I will show it once I get to my arsenal, because we need to look at the second weapon as well. The second weapon that I've been trying to make really strong. So yeah, that's the Staticor, and I mean, I like to use it outside of Garuda, but it's not as good as using it with Garuda. The riven mod that I forgot to show is this one: fire rate, crit chance, electricity, minus Grenier. Honestly, it is a good roll. Like, I'm not even gonna lie here. I can go with corrosive cold, and then the weapon is innate radiation, so we get radiation corrosive cold. That's pretty good. Like, I don't mind this. I just mind that the crit chance is not high enough to utilize it very well. But yeah, for the second weapon and the other weapon that is a guilty pleasure for me, you guys would never guess it. Sicarus Prime. This is a very OG weapon. This is a weapon that underwent so many changes, and it was like super bad, and then it became super good, and now it's like it's pretty mid in overall. But the aesthetics and the feel of this gun, I cannot compare them to any other secondary in the entire game. This probably is my favorite secondary in the game. So, what I did is put a bunch of forma that make no sense, because I've been using this weapon for very long. Now, if I wanted to change something, first of all would be the riven. I would put a riven that has a bit more status chance and not so crit focused, but I unfortunately haven't got a roll like that yet, so that has to wait. And then this would be Creeping Bullseye instead of Prime Pistol Gambit, just for the extra. I mean, 13% crit chance is not a lot, it doesn't do much difference, but hey, how much is it? 3%, literally 3%, so yeah, I mean, as I said, won't do much difference, but it is what it is. Overall, I really like this build, and you're gonna see this does a lot of damage, but outside of pure disruption, pure solo targets stuff, it's not that great. Honestly, the best case scenario that I found to use the Sicarus on, and the one that is making it fun for me, is unironically using it for killing Liches and Sisters of Parvus. It one-shots Sisters of Parvus, and I'm not sure why it one-shots. Like, damage attenuation doesn't exist. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't. I'm not complaining, but whatever. Oh yeah, also, I did level cap on this mission with Tenet Tetra. There will be a video on that soon. Stay tuned. I hope for the people that were in the stream, thank you for going through the hassle with me. First impressions that I'm gonna say immediately. This level cap is actually hard to do solo compared to other level caps. Not because enemies are tough or they can kill you. That is probably the easiest thing about this level cap. That you are in under no threat whatsoever except one enemy in the entire mission, and it's not even a type of enemy unit. It's a type of Eximus enemy. Just the electric Eximus is too OP. That's all. And the only thing that is tough for this mission is killing the Necramechs themselves when they get to high level, because, you know, unlike the normal disruption missions where you get to level 2000 and then that's it, the enemies don't scale anymore with their health, they die the same way forever. These enemies, the Necramechs, after level 2000, when we were getting closer to 9999, like after round 37 or something, they became really tough to kill. Like, I needed from my tenet tetra 1.5 mags, And up to that point, it was just slowly going up, and I was like, okay, it's gonna reach the point where it will stop, and then I'll be good. But it kept going faster, and then I realized, damn, this mission is not playing around with this Necromix. And I saw other people trying solo level cap on this mission, and they also said the same thing, and it took them longer as well. So me seeing the Tetra do this mission in basically 30 minutes less than everyone else, it kind of warmed my heart. Just gratification that Tetra is OP, but enough of that. Let's see Sicarus Prime in action. But yeah, that is a hype video. Stay tuned for that. For sure. Because, at the end of the day, yes, it did take me 2.5 mags to kill the Void Rig level cap. But it did it. If you watch other people commenting about that level cap, they straight up cannot kill it. They straight up cannot kill Void Rig outside of Energy Vampire. It's crazy. I'm not even sure if the Stalta can kill them. And I'm not saying this lightly. The Stalta will have a hard time killing those Necromechs. And it will probably need to be with the primary fire, because the secondary fire is not going to do anything to them. Anyways. So, Sicarus, as you can see, burst pistol, so it's 3 bullets at a time. Not auto burst like the Batacore, unfortunately, even though I would love to have it. But it is super, super fast fire rate. Like, to imagine, I'll just shoot it as fast as I can. Look. You have almost no delay whatsoever, and adding more fire rate just reduces the delay even more. This is not like a burst on Prime. This is actually almost like a FAMAS from Battlefield 4. If you're familiar with the game, you will understand that. It's like a burst rifle that you can just re-tap before the burst is over, and you get a lot of value out of that. So, we're gonna see what it does to a demo. Just walk to him. So you see a lot of hit procs, some slash procs. 1 mag is enough to kill them. I am stuck. It's actually really good, and this is without priming as well. No priming, no armor strip. And if I had a better riven mod, I could easily go with more heat damage, less corrosive, and the heat procs would do a lot more work. So there's still potential for me to be had with this gun, and honestly, it's really nice already. I want to see the riven mod. This want to remind me that, okay, it's negative to infested. I wanted to see if it was negative to Grenier or not. It's negative infested though. But yeah, it is awesome to play. It feels awesome, this weapon, and it actually deals a lot of damage to single target. It's one of the better, like, old single target weapons. When this when Planes of Eidolon hit, the stats of a lot of weapons got reworked, and this became an absolute beast. This weapon became pretty much the best secondary. But yes, should be dead. It's honestly not bad. No help at all. 1 mag on a demo is pretty decent. Like, if you armor strip the demo of the Grenier, this can do way, way better. And then you can also prime the enemy. You can do a lot of stuff to help it out. Like you see with armor strip, 120,000 damage per bullet without multi-shots. Then you have multi-shot and the actual bursts. It's actually quite strong in terms of damage. But, you know, it's single target, so it cannot be meta. You can like it, you can hate it, you can give it a try. I wouldn't recommend either of the weapons I'm showing in the video, but I wanted to show people what I like, what I play for fun when I wanna have fun, right? The Nox, good old Nox. Gonna stun him for an easy headshots. It's honestly really nice, the DPS of it. And I believe with a really good Riven Moon, like an ideal crit chance, crit damage, status chance, and then negative infested or something like that, I would probably make this level cap viable for a disruption mission. Because, I mean, you just armor strip them and then it shreds them on its own, kinda, right? It's really, really good. What can I say? It's just really good. So, those are the two weapons that I like the most. There are a bunch of secondary weapons that feel nice. Axtileto feel nice. Agbolto feel nice. The Tenet Diplos feel super nice when you know how to use them. But Sicarus and Staticor take the cake for me, for my favorite weapons. Especially Staticor. It's just... especially Sicarus, but Staticor... As I said, I really, really, really want a better version of this gun. This is, you know, just unfortunate in my opinion. It just there is so much potential in this weapon, and we cannot use it because the stats are too low. Like 9.6 meter radius, 90% fall of damage is crazy. If we go at the Ogris, which is considered the best, it's 7.9 meters, 80%. And the other one is 9.6 meter, 90%. So, yeah, the Sicarus, it can probably... The Sicarus, holy fuck, I'm sleepy. The Staticor can probably make some insane things happen if it gets a good revamp, maybe a better version of it. I don't know. I just wish it became better. I really just wish it became a bit better, because I know it can do it. I know it is good enough. But for now, it has to stay with my beloved Garuda and just bleed proc people to death because it doesn't have enough damage. So, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you everybody so much for watching once again. I'll leave Discord and Twitch links in the descriptions below, and I'll see you on the next video.